Guys, Don here with another video on the channel. Guys, I am currently 100-0 in FUT champs. I'm 60-0 on the main. I am 40-0 on the RTG. So today, guys, I just wanted to go through my camera settings and my controller settings that I've been using and kind of give like an in-depth tutorial on as to why I'm using the settings that I've been using, and with these changes, why they will benefit you in the game, and kind of just go through that a little more in depth. Now, before we get started, guys, just want to introduce myself because I'm new to YouTube. It's my second video. So I'm Don Brello. I recently just got signed to Inter Miami in the EMLS, so I will be competing this year. And yeah, guys, I stream every night on Twitch. You can find the link in the description below. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who dropped a sub, who watched my first vid, the tactic video. Everyone who dropped a like, dropped a sub, like, thank you so much. That means so much to me. And also, guys, if you are new here and you do enjoy the content and you could drop a sub and like this video, that would mean the world to me. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so getting into the camera settings that I have been using. Just to start off, guys, under visual. Now, you know that very annoying thing that drops down when maybe your opponent or you make a sub, or maybe something else happens in the game. I think like a yellow card or something. There's like that large, very large drop down box that comes down under the scoreboard. That's the score clock drop down. I think everyone should take this off because it's very annoying in game. And I think it happens like 3 or 4 times a match, and it's just like it takes up half your screen, so you can't even like see anything. So I definitely advise to take that off first. I definitely took it off. I took it off the first day because that was very, very annoying. Getting into the camera settings now, guys, I know a lot of people like to use co-op because you have a bigger view of the pitch and you can see all the runs that are happening. Now, you can use co-op, but if you're someone who uses the mini map often, now I use the little radar thing at the bottom. I use it all the time when I'm looking at like where my players are running. So that's why I use tele-broadcast. And with tele-broadcast, you're closer to the pitch, and for me, I truly believe that when you're closer to the pitch, you get to react a little bit faster. You see things more clear, and honestly, if someone's trying to like jockey you and come and tackle you, like, you're able to react to that a little bit faster, I believe, since you are closer to the pitch. Now, that is why I use tele-broadcast. Now, again, if you want to use co-op, go for it. I think tele-broadcast has a slight advantage. And also, if you're using your mini map, then you don't need to see the entire pitch the whole time. So I use tele-broadcast. And then with the camera settings, I use, now this is perfect for me, but I use the camera height at 15 and then 0 zoom. You definitely want to go 0 zoom because then you're zoomed in too much. You definitely want to see most of the pitch. So I think this is like the perfect balance for tele broadcast. So getting into our controller settings. Now, guys, I advise to always put on competitive master switch, because when you're playing FUT champs and when you're playing div rivals, it's always on no matter what. Even if you take it off in game, EA Sports, it forces you to have this on. Now, I believe it's off when you're playing like offline, when you're playing kickoff. Squad battles, I'm not too sure. I think it is off on squad battles. Could be wrong though, but generally you want to use it on because, I mean, most of us are playing div rivals and FUT champs, so you definitely want to get used to having the same settings. If you're switching between different settings, I don't think it's a good thing. So my competitive master switch is definitely on. Now, getting into the settings through pass assistance, I keep this on semi because pretty much anything that is more manual, I would not advise to have it, because wherever you could get assistance for most part of these settings, you're gonna want it, especially for like passing assistance and shooting assistance and clearances and stuff like that. You want the help you could get, because if you don't have it on anything assisted, it's gonna be like very hard for you to make accurate passes, especially if you make like a slight error on the direction that you're pointing it to. You're pretty much never gonna be able to make a pass. So I keep this on semi. Now I have FIFA Trainer on, and the only thing I show when using FIFA Trainer is that when you are sending your player on a run and you click L1 and you decide to like direct him into another run, I like to see those lines in the run that he's making. So that's the only thing I see with my FIFA Trainer that's showing. Everything else is toggled off, but that's the one thing I keep on. Just because if I'm redirecting him, if he's running down the line, but then I want him to cut inside because there's a little space opening, I'd like to see the green lines on the pitch that show him exactly what direction he's going to be running into. Time finishing, I mean, you could take it off if you're not, if you don't want this on, but I really advise that time finishing is definitely something good in FIFA, so I keep it on. I try to green all my shots. That is personal preference and definitely like something to work on, but I think it is useful in this game, so I have it on. Next player switch indicator I have on because I'd like to see who, if I'm clicking L1, who am I switching to the next player. Now I usually switch with my right stick, but sometimes I am looking at that little indicator to see that if I just click L1, that's the player that I'm going to be locked onto. Pass block assistance, this I leave on. Auto switching, now this I tried using manual, and because sometimes on air balls, like it does fraud you sometimes, but so I switched it to manual, but manual in the box seems to be very difficult sometimes when auto switching. And when you have manual, then you're gonna have to switch your player every single time. Even if there's like a loose ball inside the box, it's not gonna automatically switch you. That is why I keep it on air balls and loose balls. I think I'm better with this as that than if I'm switching every single time on manual. So I definitely leave this on. Auto switch moving assistance. Now guys, I believe this is on high. Now I truly believe that you want this to be on none, and it says that this will keep the player you auto switch moving into that direction. So if someone's like, if your center back's running back and then your opponent calls for like a short pass, so he clicks R1, he calls for a short pass, if you switch onto that center back, he's gonna continue his run back for a slight second because it is on recommended or it's on high. Now if you're taking this off, as soon as you switch onto your player, you're allowed to like react right away into the direction that you want to go in. So definitely having this on none is what I recommend, and I believe it is more useful when playing in game, because once you switch onto a player, you want to have that control to go in whatever direction you want to go into right away. And even with like a split second, like that could honestly be enough time to make you concede a goal. Clearance assistance, I leave this on classic because directional is just not good at all. I tested it, it's terrible. The clearances are very fraudulent in this game, especially when you're like under pressure, but I believe classic is the better option to have onto this one. Player lock, I'm a player lock demon. I use this all the time. I leave it on. Now icon switching, I keep this off because if you're player locking, sometimes like you slightly miss a button or something, and then instead of player lock, you have the icon switch on instead, which you don't want that. So I take it off so that when I'm player locking, it's always a player lock and it's not an icon switch, pretty much. And I don't think anyone switches with that, so I think it's better off. Right stick switching, this is adaptive on default. You definitely want to keep it. You definitely want to keep it on classic because adaptive is not what you want. You have to hold your right stick longer than usual. You just want to flick your right stick so that you have the player that you want to switch onto. So definitely keep this on classic. And then your right stick switching reference, you want to have it on player relative because it's just easier. The ball could be anywhere, but if you want to switch to your center back, you're pointing your stick into the center back direction. If you want to switch to your striker, you're pointing it to the striker direction. Just very easy, and that's kind of the classic way that right stick switching has always been. Now with all these shooting assistance, crossing assistance, passing assistance, I leave everything on assisted and or semi if that's the most assisted it could be. Save assisted, I actually keep it on semi. Not too sure why, but that's fine. This is on semi. So just wanting to have the most assistance in this game as possible, because it just helps in the long run, especially with like your through balls. If you're sending a ball down the line, you want to have that assisted, because if you mess up a little direction, it's going to go out of bounds or it's going to get intercepted by your opponent. Analog sprint is like the worst thing to have on, because if you're not holding your R2 down all the way, then you're not running as fast. I don't think anyone should have this on. I think you want to be running at your player's fastest speed at all times, so definitely have this off. Pass receiver lock is on late. Vibration, I don't like vibration when I play FIFA. It gets to me and I actually hate it, so I always keep every vibration off. And even in my PlayStation settings, I have all vibration off. I never want to ever feel anything on my controller. And trigger effect is definitely off. I don't think anyone should have this on, because later on in the game, it's like your R2 button gets more difficult to press and it's very weird. So definitely keep that off as well, guys. And that is it. These are all my settings that I've been using, and I've been using these since the start of FIFA. Now I switched with a few things here and there, but these are my main settings that I've been using, and I don't think I'm ever gonna switch these settings. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below if you use these settings, how they are for you. And if you want me to do any other videos, if you guys have any other suggestions with if you guys want to see like player reviews or a pro to glory or another tactic video, or even like squad builders with like a 500k team squad builder, if you guys like to see any of these content or any other ideas that you guys might have, please let me know in the comment down below, because I'm very open to ideas and suggestions, as I do want to post a lot more content on this channel for sure. But with that being said, guys, hope everyone has a blessed night. Thank you for watching the video.